1998, after US government sued Microsoft monopoly cases, the Fed chair at the moment, Greenspan, write an article. In the article, he said, nowadays the antitrust law is just a jumble of economic irrationality and ignorance that still apply. And he also commented that antitrust is just a result of 19th century's fearmongers, ignorance, and stupidity, and still left over until today. After that, famous economist Milton Friedman, if you're an economic major, you're probably even learning his book in your freshman and sophomore year in your college. After the Nobel Prize, there's a celebration party. He even left the party to flew back to US just in order to have more economic education for the law judges within the whole US.
Proposes laws in its own self-interest, which destroy the underlying basis of the whole private enterprise system. I believe that is what has been happening recently in the computer industry.
After EU law admission judged that Microsoft is monopoly, we're gonna give him a huge fine. It causes US DOJ strong disagreement. And within the criticism, this is what they said. US legal system believe that first, European Union commissions have a really one-sided standard on justice matter. Second, this monopoly judge may have unfortunate consequences of harming consumer by chilling innovation and discourage competitions. After 2023, UK CMA have the final judgment that Microsoft acquisition for Activision and Blizzard, which is gaming company, is monopoly behavior. We should stop them. Right after that, the own UK Prime Minister Sunak have some irony comments. Within the same year, government published more than 200 amendments to change the structure of CMA because they believe that before this amendment, they harm customer benefits. After you hear history event after history event, you can clearly see a pattern that there's a voice is echo around that. Monopoly is equal to customer benefits. These voices start with economists, then move to the legal system, even to the politician too nowadays. But since when monopoly is helping customer, and how does monopoly is bad? Who said is they're bad? And why even Fed chair believe that antitrust law is just a jumble-wumble, irrationality and stupidity left over from 19th century. Within today's video, you will have a clear understand people stand on monopoly. First time monopoly become the main character of economic is actually happened after the famous American president, William McKinley. He was elected at 1892. After 3 years, his economic ideas, America become a top 1 GDP among the world. His idea of economic is very simple. We want to build a company that have a competitive advantage to all over the world. Our company, not just based in US, we also have to take the market from other countries. So how do you do it? His idea is we need to merge small company together. So when you have a bigger capital, bigger research team, you can build a good enough product to compete internationally. And apparently his act succeeded. Because how fast the economy developed, people even call this period of time McKinley prosperities. But this president was not remain for long until 1897. Someone assassinated him. With the law, the vice president need to take the charge immediately right after that. The reason why we need to highlight this part of history, because this accident and the president change actually changed the direction of the world economy and the point of view of economy. The upcoming president is Theodore Roosevelt. His attributions are so big, he even became one of the faces on the Mount Rushmore. His stand is drastically different than the previous president. He said, monopoly, this is very scary. For example, at the moment, Standard Oil that was created by Rockefeller families control about 95% of the light fuel oil. At the moment, there's no electronic. That is the most important resources for the whole country. What if those kind of monopoly just control the government and harm the customer? And he are the first ones start taking charges and create the antitrust law. Antitrust law, his idea of antitrust law is basically like the legal system within business world. You no longer can operate it unmorally, otherwise you could get charged. And the first person he start dealing with is actually named JP Morgan. Even then, they are privately know each other, they are pretty good friends, but they still pursue charges upon his company. And of course, fast forward from the history to today, slowly at 2000, people start having this voice within the economic field. Said antitrust itself, maybe it's just BS. But how antitrust is BS become the mainstream opinion within economic field? And let's bring our point of view back to the history at 2000, cases that government sue Microsoft monopoly. Why people still realize this is a BS. If you want to sue Microsoft as monopoly, you need to have at least an industry boundaries. When you start suing Microsoft, say you monopoly because you have a Windows 95, every computer have operation software. How can you even get away from that? But Microsoft defense is, our products is code. You may say different thing on your operation system, but all in all, it's just code performing. All the products that made out of code we call software, Microsoft is only 4% of the whole software industry. How can you even see we're a monopoly? After you listen to that, you may find it kind of makes sense. Because nowadays, the boundary is extremely hard to define. For example, you said you monopoly in oil. They can say, oh, in the whole energy industry, we're a tiny bit. You may say this airline is monopoly. They can say, oh, in the whole transportation field, we're only slice of pie. Even 2023 monopoly cases in UK, they judge Microsoft acquisitions for Blazor activations is monopoly because they say, oh, you made monopoly within the cloud gaming services. It's less than 1% of the whole gaming field. So the ending result is, as long as there's antitrust law cases, it have about 4 million pages documents, and the lawyer each other just push back and forth about what is the boundary of industry. Because there's a lots of company, for example, me, right? I'm not just only talking about education. I'm also published on YouTube. This also can be considered as entertainment. My product have a multiple industry boundary at the same time. And slowly, not just economic field, mainstream believe that antitrust is just a BS, it's a game. Even within the law field, all the federal judges start realize, are we playing a game that is no standard? Is it even right to play such a game? And the boundary discussion is not just stopping there. They also brought up another boundary issue is geographic. For example, if I said within this building or within this floor, within this apartment, who talk about knowledge and publish on YouTube, you can already judge me as a content creator monopoly. The reason why I brought up that odd example is because if you imagine, right, in a shopping mall, there's only one ice cream services. Can you say they're a monopoly within this geographic? The answer is yes. Within this street, we only have one barbershop. Can you see he's a monopoly within this street? The answer is yes. Who have the right to draw the boundary? Geographically, industrially, or even multi-industry? No one have the official right. Of course, there always will be people challenge this. So what happened is after 10 years of US government sue Microsoft, there's EU law admission suing Microsoft monopoly. They say, I don't want to hear no lawyers debate, right? I draw the line myself. You, Microsoft, monopoly in service software operation system under 250K instead 100K. So within this small consumer markets, desktop, your monopoly, they receive a huge fine. The direct result is the EU admissions, public opinion directly drop. People start thinking they're just making the law to judge those people all out of the blue with no correct evidence, and it make no one convinced. Even like we brought up in the beginning, US DOJ sent their colleague into EU, said, if you judge, you judge it. But I gotta talk to you the reasoning behind it. This is such one-side standard, bureaucratic standard. You are damaging your own customer welfare and killing the innovation within European unions. You may say, I'm a customer. I don't care how people talk about on the law, right? That's just another bureaucratic system. I don't care about it. How can US DOJ said you're killing customer welfare when you judge those monopoly? The direct answer is over 400 federal judges within USA is receiving top economist courses. So they have a more economist sense of what is actually benefit our societies. Include the one we mentioned in the beginning, Milton Friedman. His opinion is, if the monopoly is natural, it's actually benefit for the customer. The evil monopoly that actually damage customers' welfare is actually government intervention, include antitrust law. That will causes harm customer welfare. So if we judge someone should be punished, it should be based on did they damage the customer welfare or just because they're big sizes. If you like me grew up believe that monopoly are bad, they're harming customer, you mainly worry about two parts. First, if they're monopoly, there's no other supplier, what if they just raise prices that we cannot pay for it? Ain't that damage customer welfare? Second, what if they're so strong, make other companies, small, medium-sized company, all of the field? People like you and me cannot become entrepreneur. We can only buy, we cannot really sell. Economists' opinion on that too is that too will never happen. Let's look at one by one. First, what if they just raise prices when there's no other supplier? The economists would say, in the history, there's never such cases. Rockefeller Standard Oils. Within the 10 years before they get judged their monopoly and rip them apart, they actually dropped their oil price to 1/10 of their original. Another big monopoly get ripped apart in Roosevelt period of time is aluminum monopoly. They dropped their prices within 20 years to 1/20th, extremely low. Or even Greenspan was using Intel as example. At the moment, Intel was absolutely monopoly. They have a small competitor, AMD. But it's not as big as them, of course. But the scary part is, every 18 months, not only Intel's chips, performance become one-fold. Their prices is also halved. How can you explain? They're a monopoly. They still try to give the most benefit to the customer. How could we explain that? Economists say that's very simple because they are scared of competition. Of course, I'm a monopoly. I have the latest advantage technology and the sizes within the market. But I'm not scared the small competitor we can see. We are fear the competitor that we don't even know they exist. So if I'm the one who will benefit from this market, I'm the monopoly already. My job is raise the entry barrier. How can we do it? First, we lower the price to nobody can do but us. So customer will have a benefit. They have no need to buy a cheaper one. Second, we will put our most money into product research. So we deliver the latest technology. So no other company can provide better research than us. In another term, in economist's eye, is benefit of monopoly is directly connected to customer welfare. Just use you as an example. Imagine you're in a small village, you're a barber, for example. Would you raise the price to a level that no one can pay for the haircut? The answer is no. What if other village have a person coming to your town to start doing barbershop? What if people just buying their own scissors, cutting their own hair because it's too high? But people may mention, how about the diabetes drug? They raise price so high that you have to pay a lot of money to it. Then that back to the economist, famous Nobel Prize, Milton Friedman. He said the evil monopoly that actually damage customer is actually from government interventions. The intellectual law, the lobbyists, the money, how much money they pay to support the law that they can be the monopoly within that one chemical drug. Of course, this is getting political. I just want to mention it in case anybody have a question within that sector. Second part is, what if they kill other competitors? They kick out the small and the medium-sized company and no one else can have an innovation no more. What should we do in that regard? The economist said, you don't have to worry about that whatsoever, because within business and economic, the thing that replaces you, the thing that can outcompete you is never a big company. It's always a new technology. For example, AT&T, their biggest earning and revenue back then, when they was be considered as monopoly, is actually phone call and text messages. But the people actually replace their revenue is Wi-Fi. You can call with the Wi-Fi with almost no prices. People start charging Wi-Fi costs. Of course, after they also get into the Wi-Fi sector, but the revolution or all compete request innovation instead. Who have the most money or who are bigger monopoly? In the end, so did that mean what Roosevelt's president's concerns are wrong? Monopoly, pure good, benefits customer. There's no other issues. We shouldn't worry about it. Is that true? The answer is there's still some risk. Within our world right now, there are still countries that are controlled by big monopoly, even within government. The monopoly get into jail, get out, bailed out by the president, get into jail, bailed out by the president. All the previous presidents have the record of bribery. Even then, they're most advanced country, but they have the lowest happiness index, highest suicide rate, and the lowest fertility rates. So what caused it? What's that country? If you guys are interested, I will make another video. But that's all for today. In the end, I want to make a disclaimer. This is not a political debate, and this is a pure economic discussion and how people's point of view on the higher official levels changes. If you have your own opinion, please comment down below. I really hope you learned something from today's video. My name is Paul. I'll see you next time.